Scarlett Johansson is one of the most famous actresses in Hollywood, despite the fact that at the start of her career she had to face a lot of problems, such as she was not taken to acting school, and when she came to audition for some movie, it turned out that they had already taken Lindsay Lohan to the role, and there was no room for Scarlett. There was a period in her career when she became the highest paid actress in Hollywood, receiving $35 million for her role. When she did get her first role in a big Hollywood movie, it turned out to be a Nord movie, which became the main failure of Bruce Willis in the first half of '90. The film turned out to be so useless to anyone that now no one remembers it, and if he flickers somewhere, then this is usually due to a bunch of nominations for the Golden Raspberry and Bruce's spectacular costume. Scarlett's second big film was Sean Connery's Just Cause, which also decided to fail. After that, the actress killed the third part of Home Alone. We already talked about the failure of the franchise, after which the series left for the DVD. The actress tried to get into Jumanji, but at the auditions she lost to Kirsten Dunst, so the film was a big hit. Had Scarlett been older in these films and her roles had been bigger, perhaps we would not have known about such an actress. Her career would have ended sometime in the second half of '90, but when she had already passed the age where discounts ended, Robert Redford happened with his Horse Whisperer, and today I would like to talk about the sometimes talented actress Scarlett Johansson, who was able to become a Hollywood superstar. Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and click on the like button. All these jokes about her height, her voice, and ass, Scarlett knows very well, and she agrees that she would be best suited for the role of a smoking hobbit, but there were no such roles, and she had to work her way through other films. What is curious, in order for Scarlett to get one of the main roles of the film The Horse Whisperer, many stars converged in the sky. No one thought to take her to the cinema, or rather, Robert Redford, who played the main male role in the film, worked as a director and at the same time producer. He wanted to sign Natalie Portman for this role, but Portman refused Robert Redford with his horses. Then Robert decided to take on this role Kate Bosworth. At first, she agreed, but then she began to persuade her to give her another role in the same film. And Redford agreed to this. The role required an experienced writer, and Bosworth had just the right skills. After that, Redford noticed Scarlett, who was a little younger than the required age, but at the casting she looked preferable to an older applicant. At the box office, with a budget of $60 million, the film earned $186 million, and having received nominations for the Oscar and Golden Globe, Scarlett Johansson was already noticed. The next project for her was Ghost World, and again different stars converged in the sky. Thora Birch and Christina Ricci were supposed to play the lead role in the film, but Ricci turned down the role just before filming began, and Roberts quickly jumped into her place. The producers urgently began to look for some kind of actress who could come to the site and start filming tomorrow. Such an actress turned out to be Scarlett. The film performed poorly at the box office, earning $8 million on a budget of $7 million, but the picture was again nominated for an Oscar and a Golden Globe. Nearby, Scarlett infiltrated, and in the new film of the Coen brothers, The Man Who Wasn't There, he also performed mediocre at the box office, but, like almost all the films of the Coens, critics carried it in their arms, filled up with awards and praised everyone who appeared in such an amazing film. They also remembered Johansson, who at that moment was only 17 years old. Only in 2002 she had one dangerous box office failure. It was Eight-Legged Freaks, another failed production project by Roland Emmerich. Critics happily smashed the film with bad ratings. The picture was conceived as a comedy franchise and promised to release a sequel in a couple of years, but after the failure, of course, everyone quickly forgot about this promise. But Scarlett managed to get into 2 films even before this film was released, thanks to which her career went up. These films were The 10 Millionth Girl with a Pearl Earring and The 4 Millionth Lost in Translation. Lost in Translation was Scarlett's first film where she was asked to demonstrate on camera the ability to wear sheer underpants, and she refused to do so until director Sofia Coppola filmed herself in the same scene wearing the same underpants. Scarlett was also 17 years old at the time of filming, but then it was not as scary as it is now, so no one cared about such moments. With its budget of $4 million, Lost in Translation earned $118 million. At the box office, the movie was inundated with various nominations for the Oscar and Golden Globe Awards. Johansson also got her share of fame at the Golden Globe with a pearl earring. Scarlett, as usual, was a little lucky. Kate Hudson left the film. She had a disagreement with the director of the film. She wanted to look a little different in the frame and refused to wear the rags that were offered to her. Johansson, who was 5 years younger than necessary, was quickly signed to replace her, but the actress often played characters who were older in the script at the beginning of her career, so no one saw the problem here either. The box office success was not as impressive as that of Lost in Translation, but the movie took its $32 million with a budget of $10. Over the next couple of years, Scarlett appeared in films mostly in the second plan. Some of them, like The Perfect Score, flopped, but others, like In Good Company, did well at the box office. 2005 was especially difficult for the actress's career. This year, she released 3 films: The Black Dahlia, The Island, and Matchpoint. To be in these films, she turned down Mission Impossible 3 and Superman Returns. She wanted to appear in a film with Tom Cruise, but it was a very problematic movie that turned into completely different missions several times. Even David Fincher could make a film, but, as usual, he wanted to make some other kind of movie, but he could not explain to anyone exactly which one. So, he got fired. When the 10th director joined the film and there was almost nothing left of the role of Johansson, she ran away from the movie. But the actress did not want to return with Superman right away. Ironically, the role that Scarlett was offered was signed by Kate Bosworth, who turned down Johansson's role in The Horse Whisperer. In The Black Dahlia, Scarlett appeared because of Josh Hartnett, with whom she was dating in those years. Bad luck for Josh in those years went to all the films where he appeared. The Black Dahlia was no exception. The film's premiere has been postponed several times. When she hit the screens, she managed to earn only $49 million with a budget of $50. After such an excellent gift, Scarlett quickly got rid of Josh so that he would continue to drown in proud loneliness. Michael Bay's Island also failed, but here the good audience ratings became the salvation. The most famous episode associated with Scarlett is her desire to get rid of her bra in one of the film scenes. According to the actress, he looked too stupid in the scene, and she offered to shoot everything without him, but Michael Bay opposed it. He agreed with everything, but found it unwelcome to get punched in the neck by producers who wouldn't be happy with a scene like this in a teen-rated movie. So, the bra had to be returned. Saved the actress Woody Allen's Matchpoint, and it was again a movie where Scarlett wasn't intended, but Kate Winslet left the movie at the last minute and Woody turned to the actress, whom he had originally rejected because she was American. The film did well at the box office, grossing $85 million on a budget of $15. Scarlett was again nominated for a Golden Globe, and Woody Allen liked Johansson so much that he immediately cast her in his next film, which also performed well at the box office already in 2006. With a budget of $4 million, he collected $40. Evil people claim that Scarlett also got into Christopher Nolan's film, The Prestige, by accident, or rather, thanks to Josh Hartnett. Hartnett refused to star in Christopher Nolan's Batman, but agreed to Prestige. Nolan did not appreciate such legibility, and removed Hartnett from the film, but signed Scarlett for one of the main roles, who at the time of signing the contract was still dating Josh Hartnett. Prestige is not a big success at the box office. But he didn't become a failure either, having collected $110 million with a budget of $40. The Prestige was followed by quite successful The Nanny Diaries and The Other Boleyn Girl, and then Woody Allen's next hit Vicky Cristina Barcelona. In this film, Woody Allen was already writing the script for Scarlett Johansson. If we remember that Woody is usually not the highest-grossing director and that his films were usually sponsored by various independent investors, then he had to pray for Johansson at night. She brought him 3 box office hits in 4 years. At the box office, Vicky Cristina Barcelona took $96 million on a budget of $20. Scarlett ended an impressive line of success at the end of 2008 with the film The Spirit. Frank Miller, after the great success of the films Sin City and 300, based on his work, decided that he could do it too, and he wanted to single-handedly direct The Spirit as a talented director. Scarlett, apparently, also noticed the success of the city and the Spartans, so she signed up for one of the main roles in the movie, but the $60 million film was a complete failure, grossing only $39 million at the box office. However, He's Just Not That Into You performed well nearby, so one failure could not hit Johansson in any way. There was really one problem that did not allow the actress to climb a step higher and finally become a big star. She didn't have a really big hit. She began to look for him at the Marvel studio, for which she even went to reduce her fee. For previous films she asked for $2 million, and in the second Iron Man she agreed to appear for $400,000. Scarlett was not included in this film either. Everyone wanted Emily Blunt. Regarding her refusal, there are different versions. The actress herself will say many years later that she was ready to act, but she was prevented by a contract for the film Gulliver's Travels. But earlier the main version was the one in which Blunt did not want to act in a cartoon. Because of Gulliver this may seem strange, but in the same year she also had the main female role in The Wolfman, and Gulliver was an expensive film. She had a more impressive role there than was offered in Iron Man, so the option of not wanting to star in a comic book does not look too strange. In 2010, roles in comics were still quietly abandoned. The same Iron Man had been turned down by Rachel McAdams a year earlier. Kate Bosworth in 2006 did not refuse the return of Superman, and her career on it in general then ended. Scarlett, on the other hand, allegedly clung to the role with a stranglehold, went to the gym, spent a lot of time with a trainer, and even participated in the creation of the Black Widow costume, helping to make it a little better, since in its first version she could not even walk normally. The actress herself assures that she had to suffer in the final version, but at least she could move in it. Iron Man 2 did an excellent job at the box office, and Scarlett Johansson's fees flew up thanks to this role. For We Bought a Zoo, she already received $4 million, and for the Avengers she asked for $6 million. What they did at the box office, probably everyone knows. $1.5 billion with a budget of $220 million. By the way, Scarlett next to the Avengers could star in a big box office failure. She was signed to the film Total Recall. She left it just because of the Avengers. The production of Total Recall dragged on, and when it became obvious that the filming of the films would overlap, she left the project, so Jessica Biel had to fail in her place. But Scarlett was not always lucky. For example, she really wanted to get into the film The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. After Natalie Portman's refusal, Sony's studio tried in every possible way to persuade director David Fincher to sign Johansson, but he rejected Scarlett not because she was a bad actress. Fincher assures that she is too puppet and cute for such a role, so he did not agree to her. Although after The Avengers the actress was drowning in offers, she chose projects very carefully and signed up for a couple of years only for small films. Not all of them were successful. Under the Skin, even with its small budget, was not needed by anyone. The 15 millionth Hitchcock, which collected only $27 million at the box office, performed unsuccessfully. The drama Her, where Scarlett was on the voice acting, performed modestly, but the 3 millionth Don John collected $40 million in theaters. Scarlett returned to expensive films in 2014. Two films were released at once, Lucy and Captain America: The Winter Soldier. According to rumors, initially Luc Besson wanted to get Angelina Jolie for the lead role in Lucy and even met with the actress several times, but in the end, Jolie refused. Besson himself denies such rumors and states that when the work on the film was launched, he only thought about two actresses, one of which was just Scarlett Johansson. And the second was not Jolie, but, since Scarlett immediately had a burning desire to star in such an amazing film, he no longer needed to look for someone else. The second actress, according to the same rumors, was Luc Besson's ex-wife Milla Jovovich. She kind of gave up because she was pregnant. Lucy hit theaters in the summer of 2014, on the same day as Dwayne Johnson's Hercules, and Dwayne was instantly defeated. Lucy at the start took $43 million, and Dwayne only $29 million. As a result, the 40 millionth Lucy took a crazy box office of $458 million at the global box office. Nearby $714 million collected Captain America: The Winter Soldier. For the era of Ultron, Johansson has already requested $20 million. The second Avengers made a little less money than the first film, but a little less than $1.5 billion is still good money. Due to its huge budget, inflated by a ton of problems, the film did not make as much money as it might seem. The film's production budget alone is $365 million. And according to Forbes, the reshoots and on-set hell inflated the film's budget to $495 million. But in any case, almost $1.5 billion box office brought the film earnings. Before Captain America: Civil War in 2016, for which the actress has already received $25 million, she starred in Hail Caesar. Though considered a failure for the Coen brothers, the film grossed $63 million on a budget of $22 million. In 2017, Johansson popped into Ghost in the Shell. For that film, the actress received $10 million and he drowned at the box office. Aside from a couple of budget flops like Under the Skin, Ghost was the actress' first major flopping in 10 films. With a budget of $110 million, only 169 were able to collect in cinemas. A comedy, Rough Night, modestly passed nearby, but because of the budget of $20 million and the box office of $49, it's hard to call it a failure. For Avengers: Infinity War and The Endgame, the actress has already received $35 million. Since the films were shot at the same time, such a fee is considered as for one film. Jojo Rabbit also performed well at the box office. For him, the actress received her first Oscar nomination. That same year, she had another one for Marriage Story, a film on Netflix's streaming service, so it was only a limited release at the box office just in time for a nomination. The Academy requires a theatrical release for films that qualify for any awards. The last film of the actress at the moment was Black Widow, for which she received $20 million. The film performed unsuccessfully at the box office, collecting only $379 million with a budget of $200 million. Now it's impossible to know if the film would have failed without this whole situation with the virus. The movie was postponed for a whole year and it came out in a situation where cinemas had just begun to open, and people in the cinema walked reluctantly. But most importantly, Black Widow appeared simultaneously with the theatrical release and on the Disney Plus service for a fee, thanks to which the film quickly appeared on all other services that did not require a separate fee. All this allowed the actress to earn another $40 million on the film. Due to the release of the film on the Disney service at the same time as the release in theaters, the actress went to court. She claimed that bad people at the studio deprived her of various bonuses by such actions, since, according to Scarlett, this reduced the box office of the film, and they were not due to her. The proceedings lasted a long time, and Johansson even flew in because she still received some bonuses. They accused her, of course, of greed. But the studio paid $40 million to settle the issue. So the seemingly failed Black Widow brought the actress at least $60 million. The actress is now 38 years old and has several big and not so big films in her plans, and we will continue to follow her progress. Thank you for being with us. Subscribe and write in the comments what to tell in the next video.